Okay, I'm trying to trust the process. It's freaking me out. This is my living room. Well, it was 6 months ago until in part 1 of this makeover, we hung this lovely picture frame molding to add character to these boring walls and painted it this moody green color. This video is the grand finale in our living room series where I'm going to take you guys from where we started all the way to styling the finished room with items that I've been curating for months. We're going to add in our furniture and decorative touches, including an antique Facebook Marketplace find, tons of thrifted decor, and so much more. This is my most in-depth room design to date, and as with any room makeover, nothing ever goes entirely to plan. So come along with me while I design this room, change my mind, doubt everything, and learn to piece together items I love to make a beautiful, cohesive space. Let's go. So it has been over a month since we painted the living room and put the box trim in here, and I've got to be honest with you, ever since we painted it, I have not liked this color in here. This is the same color that's in our dining room, so I thought with them being kind of open concept next to each other, this room would look good with that color too, but it really doesn't. It's just a lot darker in the living room because the window light comes from east facing rather than west facing, and so it's like most of the day has a lot cooler toned light. Just to show y'all what I mean, it's about 6 p.m. here, and I don't know if you can tell how dark it is in here, but the wall just sucks all the little bit of light that's coming from the window. Like the corners are so dark, so I'm gonna repaint. I'm gonna repaint. Little did I know the journey that was before me when choosing a new color. It literally took hours to paint these swatches on each wall of the living room. First, there was 2 coats of primer and then 2 to 3 coats of each color, which meant waiting for it to dry between coats and using a different brush or sponge for each color. It was extremely time consuming and not fun to me at all, but I actually did end up finding a solution that makes this process fast and easy, believe it or not, and I will share that with you very soon in this video. I got more samples. So I have a good feeling that one of these is the one. I just have a good feeling. Because a lot of green and blue light comes into this room, I wanted a color with a little bit of a pink undertone to hopefully cancel out some of that green. The first samples that I got were still a little too dark and too pink, so I grabbed samples of whites with some different undertones. Before this, I literally had no idea how many thousands of shades of whites existed. I used to be somebody that didn't want to spend money on samples because they are like $6 to $7 for this little can. And by the time you try out several samples, you've basically bought a full can of paint. And so I just would try to cheap out and say, I'm just going to look at tons of pictures of the color and wing it basically. And, you know, so far it has worked out in the one room that I've painted. If I had just gone ahead and bought the samples up front for this room and really been confident in my decision, then I could have saved the 50 something dollars that I spent on the can of paint to paint it the first time. And then I also would have saved all the time and effort that we put into painting this the first time. So, and now we're having to do it again because I just didn't want to spend the extra money on the samples in the beginning. So if you can learn anything from my experience here, let it be to get the samples. Well, a billion swatches later, we finally have chosen a color, and I did second guess myself, but it's still the color that I feel most confident in. And I've overcome the second guessing. Out of all these colors, we thought we were gonna go with either this one or this one. We painted big swatches of them on the walls, and this one was just giving 2 like peachy yellow. This is white duck, and this modest white was just a little bit too pink. I kind of just didn't feel like it was gonna go with the couch very well, and I didn't want it to complicate just the color scheme of the room. I kind of took a new look at the white samples that we have up here, and I did pick one of those. I'm gonna leave that to be a surprise for you guys after we get the primer up in just a minute. Then I'll show you the color that we chose. Good morning, guys. It's paint day. Paint day. So we have 2 layers of primer to do and 2 layers of paint. You've already seen us paint this living room once.
Yeah.
So I think we should spare you from watching us primer this. The walls will be primed in 3, 2, 1. Woo! The primer's done. Woo! So, not gonna lie, that was a week in between those clips. We primered last weekend and then we needed a break because painting is hard. And now we're about to paint this weekend. So, let's start painting.
Let's start painting.
This is a huge difference. Rolling is so much more satisfying. Basically, we're like halfway through the first coat of this color and I got that like anxious feeling of, oh no, I don't really know if this is right. I don't know why this room has been so difficult to find a color that I like. I think it's partially the lighting. There's some like really weird lighting that comes in here. It's also kind of a darker room. It's hard to tell, but like in between all the boxes have not been painted. So that's just primer. And then the rest has like a first coat on it. I think it could be that the primer being so white is making Downy appear kind of more peach. I don't want it to look like apartment beige in here. I'm a little bit scarred from living in apartments with beige walls. I think we'll just keep going with the first coat and see how it looks once all the primer's covered up. Maybe it'll look better without the starkness of the primer next to it. So this color is so weird. This right here and that right there are 2 like paint samples of other colors, but Downy is what's on most of the walls. And on this side of the room, it looks more pink. And then on this side of the room, it looks more sandy yellow. Yeah, so that's why I've got more swatches up on the walls, because I just don't know if I can deal with Downy being just such a chameleon depending on what part of the room it's in. This is me from the future popping in to save you from making the same mistakes that I made. There is a better way to do paint samples, and I wish I had known this way sooner. By the time I had finished painting all those samples on my walls, I had painted about 50 squares of paint, each with about 2 to 3 coats. That's a lot of squares. It was time consuming, it was messy, and overall just something I never want to do again. That's why I'm super thankful that Samplize exists. They make this process so fast and so easy. So thank you so much to Samplize for sponsoring this video. These peel and stick samples are literally this easy. No paint splatters, no mess, and I can easily move them from wall to wall with 0 damage. And when I'm done, they go right back on the backing for next time. Samplize samples are made with 2 coats of real paint, so they are 100% accurate, and I can trust that what's on here will be exactly how it looks on my walls. Just look at this color match. They also come in this larger size, which makes it even easier to visualize the color in your space. They're also delivered overnight, so I can get samples from Farrow & Ball, Benjamin Moore, and Sherwin-Williams without having to run all over town to different stores. Samplize will be a staple in all of my future paint projects, and I've already started picking out some colors for future rooms that I'm designing, and I am so excited for these colors. Make sure to use my link below so Samplize knows I sent you, and please do not torture yourself with traditional paint samples ever again. Trust me, Samplize is the easiest way. Now let's get back to the room makeover. 3rd time's the charm. We have decided to go with White Dove by Benjamin Moore, and I think This color is gonna be absolutely perfect. We've also decided to paint the ceiling. So we weren't gonna do that, but White Dove is so white that it kind of needs to be the only white in the room. Otherwise it's gonna look more creamy. Okay, let's go paint. This wall is finished. It's still drying, so you might see some streaks, but I wanted to show y'all, the only thing we haven't done on this wall yet is the crown molding. So I just wanted to show y'all the difference. So you can see that we are going white, but it's like a very warm white. Done. This is the color. It's perfect. It's beautiful. I'm so happy. If you're looking for a warm white, White Dove by Benjamin Moore. This is gorgeous. It feels right for this room. And after painting this room 3 times, I think I can say that I don't ever want to paint this room ever again. Also want to say that I've never heard anyone mention how long it takes to paint all this box trim. Like, it's so trendy to put box trim in your house, but I've never heard anyone say how long it takes to paint this. You can't just like roll the walls and slap the paint up there. No. I think next time we do a room in our house that has this much trim, I will be spraying it, not hand painting it. My wrist is really sore. So now, after several weeks of not having a living room, I'm going to move the furniture back in, and Dalton is already back at work. It took us the whole 3-day weekend to finish painting. So he's back at work, and I'll be attempting to get all this furniture moved back in here by myself because I'm not patient enough to wait for him to come back home. So let's put this living room back together. I got this rug. This is the Magnolia and Laloy Pace rug in taupe/wheat. The reason I chose this rug is because it has gray, white, and cream, like a warm, light beige in it. So I thought it would tie in the gray from the couch with my cream colored chairs. This part might be the part that's a little hard without Dalton's help. But I got this, girl power. Oh, jeez. Cute. Now this thing is actually ridiculously heavy, probably hundreds of pounds. I love the contrast of this dark wood with the light walls. It looks so good. This was my great grandma's, by the way. I don't know if I would have picked it for myself, but I am learning to love it. It's a little bit red for me, but honestly, against this wall, it's so beautiful and it adds a richness and a warmth in here that I think it really needed. So I'm happy with it. Got these chairs from Facebook Marketplace a couple years ago. Love them. They're so comfortable. I like the color of the wood on the legs too. Very rich. Okay, we are getting somewhere. This coffee table I DIY'd. This was a thrift mall find for 20 bucks. And I do have a video of that I'll link in case you want to watch me DIY it. I'll be able to watch Dancing with the Stars in my living room tonight. I'm excited for that. Now, this piece that I found on Facebook Marketplace is my new pride and joy. She's gorgeous. Believe it or not, this was the only listing photo of that beautiful cabinet, which really doesn't do it justice, so I went to see it and fell in love. Turns out he only wanted $150 for it, but after seeing that it had some scuffs and some of the veneer was peeling up, I talked him down to $115. We got it carefully into the car, but no one knew that the shelves were not attached, so they all actually fell out of place on our way home, and it dislodged the left panel of glass. It's really a miracle that it didn't break. Then I spent the next week somewhat panicking about how I was going to fix that. So I decided to move on to something easier, staining. While I love the color on the outside of the unit, I felt like the inside had too much of a yellow tone that didn't really match the outside. So I'm giving the inside a light sand and then using Varathane's gel stain and Kona to basically tint the color of the wood. I'm doing a light pass and then wiping back the excess so it conceals the yellow and makes it a little bit darker. Gel stain's awesome for this because you can put it right over a finished sealed surface. It will also fill in all of those little scuff marks on the back and on the outside as well. This piece is really special and very old. The man I bought it from said it was handcrafted by one of his ancestors. I found a sticker on the back that said it was made at West End Furniture in Rockford, Illinois. So that must have been where his ancestor was from. That company opened in 1890 and operated until around 1942, which makes this unit 100 or close to 100 years old. That's so crazy to me. This company crafted using their local hardwoods, and I'm no expert, but my research suggests that this is quarter sawn white oak, which is why it has a beautiful tiger striped pattern. Sadly, its leg was one good shove from coming right off, and by the looks of it, someone had tried to repair it before. Those nails just weren't holding anymore, so I reinforced it with some screws. Now, it doesn't look like a professional craftsman repair, but it gets the job done, and now she won't lose a leg. Now time for the terrifying task of putting the glass panel back in. I didn't record a lot of this because it was a scary process that required a lot of focus, but we got it back in and used a little silicone and the existing trim piece to hold it in place. And lastly, finally, I needed to fix the door. It was scraping at the bottom when it was opened or closed, and turns out the hinges were bent, so we removed them and hammered them back straight and then reinstalled them. And at this point, with all of these unforeseen repairs, I am really glad that I asked him for a discount when I bought it. This is so beautiful. I have already put some decor in here because I could not wait. Oh, gotta move this very carefully because I repaired the leg. It was like falling off. We had to put this glass panel back in. I do not want to loosen things back up. Wow, beautiful, stunning. I've been waiting to put my gallery wall back up here and see it with this wall color. If you have not seen my gallery wall video, I created a beautiful gallery wall that just has so many beautiful pictures, and I go into detail on how I did it. So if you want to create your own gallery wall, you'll have all the steps laid out in front of you, super easy. So I'll link that video so you can check it out. This might be one of my favorites. I love the burgundy and the blue-green color combination. So stunning. These look so pretty against this color. This is another favorite. So pretty. I kind of want to get maybe some sconces to go, like candle sconces to go on either side of the gallery wall. Since it doesn't fill up the entire box, I feel like it needs to be expanded just a little bit more. I could, of course, like add some frames over time as I collect more art pieces. I could fill up the sides. I also thought about getting a cute little gold frame to put over the light switch cover to make it look like it's part of the gallery wall. Now it's time to decide on some curtains. Okay, I know we're getting terribly backlit here. I got these curtains. I really love these curtains, but I'm wondering if they blend in a little too much. I'm not sure. I kind of love them. They've got like a toile pattern in this like brownish gray color with some fruit. I think they're not bad. They're not bad at all, but I do want to steal the curtains from my dining room and try one out in here. Okay, so here they are side by side. I think they both look good, honestly. I kind of like how this one contrasts the white a bit more, just subtly. Doesn't match the couch exactly, but it kind of combines like the gray from the couch with a little bit of warmth in the beige. And then this one, I do like the pattern. I like the pattern it adds. I think I'm gonna need to live with them for a couple of days while I decide. And in the meantime, I'm gonna be thinking of like pillow covers, throw blankets, wall things to put on all these other blank walls. So now that I've got the paint color picked, I can start thinking about those finishing details. So that's what I'm gonna do in the meantime. I really wish I could hear y'all's thoughts on these. So it's been about 2 months. The last clips you saw were in October and now it is December. And we have just got back from visiting family last week for Thanksgiving. I have like just a few days before I leave again to go out of town for my sister's wedding. And I've got to get some stuff done in this living room. I honestly have not done much on it in the past 2 months because I've just been living with it. Honestly, the design has been just evading me. I feel like I haven't been able to grasp really what I want in here. So I've just been living with it and trying to see if inspiration strikes. Also, I'm sick, so I'm sorry if I sound a certain way. And I hope you guys don't mind that I just want to stay in my sweatpants today. Starting with these curtains, I've been living with them being 2 different colors for a while. And I've gotten a few of my friends over to give me a suggestion on which one they prefer. And everybody, including my husband, seems to love the flower one. And I think it's growing on me too. I'm gonna go ahead and pop up both of the flower curtains. If y'all wanna know a little trick, so we've all seen these, right? Little curtain clips. And usually you pop those up there, they're gonna look like that. You can see like all this happening. And sometimes it's the vibe, sometimes it's not. So you can also, as an alternative option, get one of these or get like a pack of these hooks, drapery hooks, and you can attach them on the back because the sharp point just kind of goes right up into the fabric like so. So I'm just putting it through the back layer of fabric because I don't want it to show through to the front. Okay, so now you've got this, and instead of hanging it from the hook, you can like take this part off and then just hang that right onto the ring. So you just see the ring poking out of the top versus this look where you see like all that happening. So I hope that helps. That is with the drapery hooks, and that is with the clips just clipped directly onto the curtain. I definitely think this side for me looks a lot cleaner, and I really like it for this room. Okay, well, curtains are hung, so I think that means we've officially entered decorating phase for the living room. So that's exciting and terrifying because that's been the part that's been so hard to come up with. I think that at this point I've created enough digital mood boards that I actually just have to start putting stuff together so I can see how it comes together and go from there. I'm just gonna start putting stuff up. This corner here, I mean, it's kind of small. I can't really put much there because I've got to be able to like get to the curtain to open it in the mornings. I think I'm gonna hang these instruments here, and then I might need some more stuff, but I've just got to see it. So I'm gonna just start hanging stuff up. I think if I'm gonna make any progress at all, I just have to start doing stuff. So here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just stabbed my wall with the drill bit. Yeah. Let's try her out. Okay, gonna step back and see. Perfect. Now for the ukulele. Okay, let's see how they look. Cute. I sent my husband a picture of like whether, because I wasn't sure what placement I wanted. So I wasn't sure if I wanted like the hangers to be aligned and then the tops of the instruments would kind of be like off from each other, or have the hangers be unaligned and the tops of the instruments align with each other. And he was taking too long to respond. And so I went ahead, just hung them like this because I kind of liked the top of the instruments aligning. Then he responds with he likes the hangers aligning. So it's too late. It's too late. It's probably not that big of a deal. I like it. I think it looks good. I want to focus on the gallery wall. So I do think that I should add some more frames here and there to completely fill in this box trim with frames. I've honestly been going through my decor closet trying to find frames. I only have one more gold frame that I would need to paint and clean up a bit. That's not enough to fill in. Like, I feel like I will need at least 4. So I was thinking, like, what if I add in some wooden frames? But then I thought that like it'd be weird to have all these gold and then just some wooden ones on the ends, right? Like, I feel like if I was gonna add in wooden ones, I would need to add them throughout so it was balanced. I planned out this gallery wall because of the sizes of these frames, so I wouldn't be able to just switch out these frames with the wooden frame. Again, I'm so sorry about my voice. Oh my gosh, I sound like a frog. Anywho, I had this great idea. I was walking in my dining room. Let me show you. So I was walking in my dining room and I saw this little gallery wall that I did. And just to give you an idea of where this is, it's like right on the other side of this gallery wall. And I thought, you know, I could use these frames. I could just steal these 3 gold frames and then replace this with something else, like maybe this frame that I have that I love. Cute little lady on a bridge. It's so satisfying to be able to like steal things from other areas of your house. You don't have to put any effort in, you just have to go take it. Ignore the mess, it's atrocious. This one's a wedding photo. I have a wedding photo on that side, so maybe I add this one over here. Pretty. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Oh my gosh, there's a spider. And then this one, I think over here. Go there, or up here, maybe there. I still want to get something gold frame-wise to put over this outlet. Because of where the hooks are on the back of these frames, you can see my little picture frame hanger behind. So I'm just gonna paint those with the same color as the wall so they blend in. The gallery wall is coming together. I nabbed this frame from my mom's house last time I was there. Thanks, Mom. Well, I told her I took it, but it was just collecting dust, so I figured it might as well be put to good use. And I'm really glad I grabbed it because I ended up needing it for this. This is the last gold frame I had. This is gonna be a problem, so I might have to rip this off, and then the gallery wall will be complete, and you'll see it in the reveal. Bet you thought I forgot about our little outlet cover artwork. I did not forget. I have art for it. I found this really adorable little pewter frame at the thrift store. It was 99 cents. I kind of want to like take off the back. It looks like it'll fit my light switch plate. Oh my gosh. That's so cute. I want to rub and buff it gold so it matches the rest, and then figure out a way to attach it. When I told my sister about my idea to put this over the outlet cover, she had the great idea to Mod Podge some artwork to the outlet cover, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I bought a bigger outlet cover that would fit more snugly inside this frame, and then I printed out some artwork. This is just on some copy paper, and I'm gonna Mod Podge it to the outlet. So let's do that. I've been feeling like there's something a little bit off about this room that keeps preventing my creativity to flow and to know like what else to put in this room to make it feel special like I want it to feel. And I expressed that to Dalton, and he had actually a really great idea for changing the layout in here. We tried it the other day and really liked it. So I didn't record it because I wasn't sure and I was just kind of in like thinking mode. So we moved it back, and now we're gonna move it back to the way we like it on camera. One of the issues with the current layouts, we've got the chairs here, couch here, is this corner here is just a huge area. And I'm gonna put a side table here, but there's still just gonna be an awkward corner that kind of can't be used. And so the new layout will fix that problem. And also over here, there's just always been this awkward space here because this media unit is not long enough for this wall, and this plant, I don't know, it's just kind of there. The gallery wall is like the entire wall, but it just feels like something's missing here. So I think the new layout will fix that too. Right now, since this unit is centered on this wall, it is actually off-centered from the couch. So if I stand in the middle of the couch, this is the view that I have. So this is like way pushed over to the right. Okay, just a little bit more. Not a good idea in socks. So now that it's here, it is directly in line with the couch. So this whole area feels more balanced and feels more like a couch and media unit situation. Now we're moving one of these chairs over here to balance out this new blank spot that's over here, now that we moved that to the left. And that balances it out. Looks a lot better. And now with this chair, it'll go right here this way, and that'll kind of give a little more purpose to this corner. I could picture possibly getting like a little round ottoman here one day. I don't have one yet, but that's something I can look for while thrifting, because this would be the perfect like area to put your feet out now that there's more room here.
This side table came to me from a family member, and it was either I took it home or it was going to the dump. As you can see, it's in really rough shape, and all of this veneer is peeling up because of some serious water damage. So I got to work scraping all of that off, which was actually really fun and satisfying to do. Now I'm left with a top that is still very unfortunate looking. It has a lot of dips and texture, so I'm using some stainable wood filler to give it a better surface. And I didn't realize until I picked up this piece of veneer that there was actually mold underneath that water damage. So I began sanding the surface smooth and making sure to do a little extra sanding over that moldy spot to just remove all of that. Thankfully, it was very surface level, so it didn't take long before it was gone. I gave the whole thing a good dousing with vinegar to kill any possible spores, but I felt pretty confident that it was gone, especially since I'll be sealing this. It was pretty wobbly, so I went ahead and tightened the hardware on it. Some of the veneer underneath was also bubbling and peeling up, so I'm squeezing in some wood glue the best I can and then using some items to hold that down while it dries. After cleaning it all up, I'm applying this Kona gel stain. The bottom part only needed one coat since the existing stain was still on it, but once I got to the top, of course, that needed 2 coats plus some strategic placing of stain, because this was made with many different shades of wood boards and the wood filler was also taking the color differently.
Today I just have left the top coat, so I'm going to go in with this, which is an oil-based glossy stain, and I'm going to first do a layer of this with a foam brush before I go in with a satin finish top coat. So I'm going to see how it affects the finish. In the past, I've had issues with top coats over dark stains like this looking a little bit like milky. And so that's why I'm trying the gloss first, because it doesn't have any like mattifiers in it. It should not have any milkiness at all. Then I'll go over it with the satin, which will have a little bit of mattifiers in it, but because I first sealed it with the gloss, it shouldn't give it a milky look. Now that this is all dry, I'm gonna give it a light sand before I go in with my final coat of poly. And for my last coat of poly, I'm using this warm satin version because I want satin to be my final finish. I am so excited to be able to finally put this table in here. It has been drying for a couple of days and it's finally dry. Just remembering how this looked when I first started on it, and it literally had like mold and water damage. It has come such a long way and it's so pretty. I'm excited to finally be able to use it. This area kind of feels like a little reading corner to me, so I think I'm gonna put this lamp here. So if anybody's reading, they can have some task lighting. This was a $10 Facebook Marketplace find, by the way, that I painted gold. It's one of my favorite finds. There is only one more major piece that goes in this living room before we really just have to fill it with all the small decor details, and that is this giant mirror. I thrifted this and refinished it. It was like a silver color before, and now it's this beautiful antique looking frame, and it's gonna go right up here, hopefully. It's very heavy, so I've got to figure out a good way to hang it. Hopefully there are some studs in the right place. Thankfully, it seems like I have a stud in the perfect spots. I have one here and one here, which is perfect because I want to hang this mirror from 2 screws instead of 1 because it's kind of heavy. And I need to hang the screws about 8 inches from the top of this. I'm gonna just use a teeny little drill bit to double check that I am actually in a stud, because I don't always trust those stud finders. Yep. Let's see. What the heck is that noise? Okay, cool. It's the next day, and I've been living with the mirror up here for a day. I think it's too high. I think we're gonna need to move it down a little bit. It kind of just looks like it's floating up there all by itself in outer space to me. And I like that it's centered in that box trim, but it just feels detached from the couch and not like it's like a decoration above the couch. It just feels like it's way up there. So I think we're gonna move it down to maybe like right above this trim line. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's better. Okay, so it'll either be there, right above the trim. I like that. Okay, now move it down to where the bottom lip is covering the trim. I don't know. We've decided a placement. The screws have been moved down, and yeah, hopefully it's better. Quick tip, if you're ever hanging a picture and it starts leaving these marks on the walls because of the little metal pieces, magic eraser will wipe it right off. Ta-da! I forgot to mention, you need to wet the magic eraser first. Hopefully we got it right this time. I think that's good. I think. It looks a little bit farther to the left than before. How did we end up farther? What was that at? 10. Oh no. That's better. It's a new day and things are happening. So I'm preparing to start decorating the living room, and I've gotten most of my decor that I want to use in here laid out on the table. I find this is the easiest way to stay organized and be able to see everything that I have to choose from. So got that going on, and I also ordered like a lot of pillowcases that I want to try out. So let me show you what I ordered. So to start off, I'm going to use this throw blanket on the corner. If you haven't noticed yet, I do have duct tape here because Hazel chewed a hole in my couch. She was a baby, so you know, can't blame her. She's a really good dog now. So we're just going to cover that up and pretend it's not there. And then these are a definite. I want these in here somewhere. I like them on the couch. I think they contrast the gray nicely. It's been really hard to find colors that go with this gray. That's been the whole thing that's been difficult for this makeover. But I like this brown with it. So I think those are gonna stay. I have these. These are IKEA, but I thrifted them. They just kind of, they don't contrast really. And then I got some floral options like that, but it looked really pretty on Amazon, but it's got like a weird yellow tone to it. Same thing with this one. It's pretty, but it's got this weird like greenish hue across the whole thing. Then I got this and that and this. And then I also got a few lumbar pillows for the chairs to try. So there's the options. Here's a close-up view. So they're all pretty in their own ways, but I feel like most of them don't go with each other. So yeah, this one, I don't know, this color is not working for me in here. This one feels too pink. This one feels too orange. This one I really like, but I don't think it's the vibe for this room. But I might reorder this in the future or keep it for a future makeover because I really like it. These two I like. I feel like these have the potential to flow in here nicely. This one, I really like the pattern, but I don't know if you can tell, but it's got this weird green hue across the entire thing, and I'm not feeling that. This, I don't know, it's too like orange and yellow. So I was kind of hoping that the pillowcases I choose would lead me towards the decor that I would choose for this space, and I'm just not feeling any of these. So went to the store, Home Goods specifically. Actually, I went to a lot of stores, but Home Goods ended up having something I liked. And so I found these. Let me get them. I found these. And at first I left them, but then I went back for them. I feel like they have a subtle color palette, but it brings in some colors. I love the florals, and I like that the background is bright and contrasts. Yeah, these are my favorite so far of any of the options. I also ordered this one as kind of a wild card because I really like the color. I honestly love this pillow, and I don't know if it goes, like, I don't think it could go next to these, but maybe I can find another spot, like one of the chairs or something. Maybe there. Does that look good next to each other? I'm gonna try some different arrangements. I like how the plum color of that contrasts with the couch. Looks nice. It's a good pop of color. Decisions. And then in this chair, I can put the matching one, and they'll kind of balance each other out. I think I'm gonna move these because after having them up there for a few days, I feel like they're too much with the gallery wall. It almost needs like a breathing room here. The gallery wall is just so much, and this feels like too much over here. I have another idea. These curtains, I know they're like single panel. It'd look better, I think, if there were double panels, and I went ahead and ordered some more. I'm gonna need to extend the curtain rod, so actually unhang them and then stretch them out like 10 more inches on each side to accommodate the second panels. And I think that'll help kind of fill in the blank wall situation happening here without having to add more decor, since the gallery wall is already so much.
Yeah, I mean, we could just take this out, put the new one on.
I thought I was gonna have to like take them off the wall and re-screw them. We actually don't have to. That makes my job a lot easier. Ta-da! This difference is absolutely insane. Just to double the curtain panels made this wall feel huge. It makes the windows feel huge. I will put up a picture of the before and after so you can really see them side by side. It's a huge difference. I definitely recommend doing this. But now this feels like too much in this corner, and I don't like this table, so I'm just gonna take this out.
Now it is finally time to add in the finishing details of this space. I feel like in a lot of makeover content, it seems like the styling is so quick and easy, but I spend a lot of time on this part, and I like to just live with the decor and tweak it over several days until I'm happy with it. I try to get creative with the items that I've thrifted over the past months and years, and about 90% of everything in this room is thrifted or secondhand. I really want this room to feel cozy and not staged, so I tried to incorporate personal touches all throughout the room, like this stack of Polaroids in this beautiful bowl. Your home is really about your personal expression rather than following a certain design style. So just put together things that you love, and it's the conglomeration of those things that will create your style. Your home should feel like you live there and not like it's staged for a magazine. I filled this large vase with some thrifted florals, which add a beautiful pop of color, and I wanted to keep this console just super simple to avoid looking cluttered with the gallery wall. If there is one thing I've learned recently, it's to add the trinkets. Add the weird, special decor that makes you smile when you look at it. I enjoyed displaying some of my favorite smaller decor in this cabinet, but I'm most excited that I finally have a place to display this incredible cigar box guitar that my great uncle made for me out of an Anastasia cigar box. It is so beautiful. Before I share the reveal, let's remember where we started. 6 months ago, this was my living room. It lacked personality, lacked a cohesive color palette, and looked kind of bland, honestly. And it looked like a random assortment of furniture. We installed box trim, which instantly made the room feel more luxurious and charming. But then I accidentally turned it into a dark cave. But now it is a living room that truly feels like home, and I'm so happy with it. So I give you my finished living room makeover. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this long journey. Make sure you're subscribed because so many more makeovers are coming in 2026. And don't forget to use my link below to explore Samplize for your next paint project. I will see you soon in the next one. Bye, guys.